check. Do we sound okay? All right. Gott in Himmel! All right, getting ready. I think, let's see, are we up on, should be live on Instagram right now. Excellent. Looks like Substack is up. Very exciting. Yes. Just gotta not feedback. There we go. Getting close.
Hey people, do we sound better?
Hey people, do we sound better?
Hey people, do we sound better?
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Oh yes. Let's see. You know what? I at this point, anything could happen. Let's push a button and see what happens. Oh, look, I'm the wrong height. Hold on. One moment, please. I'm just gonna go back to here. Hold on. Should be the hold music playing. Okay. Look out, everybody! Come on! I just gotta reset my camera because the camera thing was being a jerk. Where is it? What's going on? B. All right, let's give this a try. Hey, are we almost back to normal? Hold on, damn it. Hold on, why is the lighting is odd? Hold on. I'm just fixing everything because I don't care at this point. All right, hold on. Should I turn this one? No? I don't know. And also, that's the, okay. All right, never mind. It's the little catch cup over here is back for some reason. Nobody knows why. All right, well, let's just settle in. Hi, how you doing? By the way, chat room, let's see if it goes to you guys. Hey, look at that. Oh, that's fun. And yeah, the cup, the for tips and stuff has turned into a giant V for vagine, I think. Is that what's happening? Yeah, the tip jar a la pinball. Yeah, I don't know if it's working at this point, and I don't care. As long as you can see me and hi. After the morning we had, I gotta tell you, I almost feel like just standing here and just smiling. Just hello. Let's see. That's it. Anyways, one of the difficulties of being the greatest live stream in the history of live streams, of course, is the fact that you gotta work overtime sometimes because you will be attacked by the deep state, by the I don't know, the derp state, I suppose. And hello, love you right back. Whew. Yeah, this morning was rough. So this Lev is going to be back with us on Wednesday with the Major and with Phil, which is lovely. Hopefully we can have Phil and him on at the same time because God knows they'll have something to talk about. Hopefully we will have solved all of the shenanigans since then. I have boiled it down to it's essentially Ecamm. The thing that I use to bring guests in screws with it has its own internal audio looping thing that it does. And it throws a monkey wrench in the whole system because you can't turn off parts of it. So for the time being, I'm going to do guests through the Restream Studio and then do the regular show through this. And hopefully that will semi-solve it. But damn, that was a pain in the butt. Oh, hi, Rob. Yeah, so that was the issue. It's a piece of Mac software. So, yeah, I don't know. I hear it. I hear you. I told you so, right? But I'm fairly certain. Now, again, that's the thing about computers. You can pull all the gremlins out and go, ha, I caught it. I caught the gremlin. And then, of course, you didn't. It's actually something else. So we shall see what we shall see. But in the meantime, hi, Rob Glenn. I'm so ashamed. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not doing a show. I'm just going to hang out over here. And I'm just going to stand up stage. And I don't care. I just don't care. I got to say, I'm just going to. No, I don't want to go on. I don't want to do it. I'm so ashamed in front of Rob. I won't do it. All right, I will. Okay, because there's so much show to do. Not the least of which is, of course, this ridiculousness this morning with Trump and Brzezinski and Van der Hoeven and Glossenblegen. And yeah, here it is. Oh, God. Was that the... Why is that live? What the hell? Hold on, we'll do this. Let's see. I got it, like, overall, just a brutal fail on so many fronts for Trump. But it had to happen. It had to happen. He had to sit there and kind of take it. He set this whole thing up. He set all of this in motion as a big distraction from the Epstein stuff. And I gotta say, like, this is a bunch of... This is turd polishing extraordinaire, and it is not working. Not anywhere. It is, hold on, let me, let's see, I'm going to add this one. Wait 1 second. I've got to do this one. Hold on. I have to show you a couple things, because it's just kind of a good example overall of yeah, here you go. Da-da-da. Let's see. Da-da-da. This, yeah, last night he goes on this rant. There is, God damn, it's so embarrassing. All of it was a setup to fail. Let's just be honest. Because Trump thinks it should be a lot easier than it is. He thinks that, and we talked about this a bit this morning, and I feel like some of the things we talked about were so important, some of them didn't even make the air because of the tech issues that we had. But one of the things I want to be abundantly clear about right out of the gate, Trump thinks he's the greatest deal maker in the history of the world. And largely that is because in the entirety of his life, he has been doing deals about things that don't matter. Nobody gives a shit if there's another Trump building. It does not mean buildings aren't going to be built. It doesn't mean other buildings are going to be knocked down that should exist and ones that shouldn't exist will be built in its stead. It doesn't fucking matter. If he loses a deal on a golf course, it's now just a field. I mean, granted, there are things you can't do in a field that you can do in a golf course, like chase a ball around and hit it with a crooked stick, as George Carlin says, or bury your fucking ex-wife after she falls down the stairs and was cremated almost immediately, but manages to find herself in a very heavy coffin that requires almost 9 people to carry it. Sure. Yes, that's a difference between a golf course and a pasture. Although, I guarantee if you cadaver dog half of Tennessee, you're going to find that there's a redneck version of that shit happening everywhere. But overall, nothing that he has ever been involved in terms of his business, mattered. Not in any sense that it couldn't be replaced. Like, none of his buildings are architecturally fundamental to the cities that they're in. You know what I mean? There's no design in one of his, like, well, shit, it's the Empire State Building. What the fuck are you gonna do? You know, you can't, like, if you think about that building, you know, it's got a magic to it. His buildings, except for the big vagina in where is it, Azerbaijan or whatever, the rest of them look like perfunctory high-rises. Who gives a shit? Or they're repurposed buildings that already existed. What the fuck about his golf courses that anybody has ever seen where they went, oh my God, without this golf course, we wouldn't even know about this town, right? We wouldn't even know about this city. It is the lifeblood of the economy around here, right? Nothing. The post office was a repurposed building, and it died. It didn't work. He failed at running it. It lost money every year he owned it, except for the year that he was in the White House and he was using it as basically a bribe filter. So this idea that he is a great, it's like saying you're the world's greatest juggler, but you only do tennis balls. And you're in a field where they're going, hey, you can't do tennis balls. We have to give you 3 chainsaws. And you're like, don't worry about it. I'm the world's greatest juggler. What could possibly go wrong? And so everything that he's been involved in up to this point didn't matter to anybody. It just didn't. And now he's involved in stuff that not only is affecting soldiers' lives. People, he's always bringing up Russian soldiers, and mostly soldiers die in war. Yeah, that's how it works. But not just them, but civilians in Ukraine. And by the way, in every other country like Chechnya or Georgia or Kazakhstan or Dagestan or any of the former Soviet Socialist Republic states that broke away, that Russia might decide after they're done grabbing a chunk of Ukraine, they might go, well, fuck it. Nobody gives a shit if we take all of Georgia now. As long as we do it without firing a shot by undermining the entire government or whatever, they're not really going to say anything. This looked so fucking bad. Oh, I'm not up on YouTube? Why would that be? That's very strange. It says I am. It says I'm streaming and there's 1,000 people watching on there right now. So, yeah. I might be being punished by YouTube standards. The derp state has come for me again. But I see a bunch of people on the YouTube things in there. So the point I'm trying to make is that his standard, it's like he thinks of himself as a Casanova too, as a great lover, or a great, an alpha man, an alpha male amongst, all these women, right? But he's never ever been around a woman who either wasn't with him for his money, or slept with him as a joke. And none of them are like, dude, fuck of the century, a la Basic Instinct, right? Nobody. And he knows it. So, anyways, it's the thumbnail. Sorry. Is that what killed it? That's what shut me down, was the thumbnail of him shaking hands with 3 people. One of the things, let's see if, is this working? It seems to be. I'm afraid to push some of my buttons, but they'll work anyways. Here you go. This is the response. Mr. Magoo. Trump mocked as an embarrassment after summit slip-ups. He was well into Mr. Magoo land, beg your pardon. He was well into Mr. Magoo land before he ever made it into, the actual talks that he's having with these folks. See if I can get this up there. There we go. Shoot, there we go. Here we go. Now it's done. He didn't know, he seemed to think that Alaska was another country or like something we own like Puerto Rico or Guam or some shit like that. Let's see, where is it? Yeah. In all these areas, there's so much like, imagine if Biden had said, I'm leaving Alaska to go back to America. Think about that for just 1 second. Just that fucking, that alone. I'm leaving Alaska to go back to America. Just like that all by itself. Just that one sentence, the right would have run with that for the entirety of his presidency. Like, it would become a running gag about this dipshit. About Biden. And yet in the case of Trump, like, there were so many fuck ups that I think he might benefit from sort of a Gish Gallop of failure. That there are so many fuck ups in this, it kind of all blurs together into us or them. He's on our side, so like you can't go after him because you'll give ground to the liberals or whatever. So they have to defend it because there's a big wash of it. There's so many fuck ups. It's like a cloud. Now let me see this. I had to reopen one of my things to get to the, there it is. Let's see. Lateral. There we go. This is the, all right, here we go. Yeah, this business. Okay. Now, I'm going to skip around on this next piece as we go through all this stuff. This is the multilateral gathering, gaggling of the press for all the leaders, the European leaders that were there. And as you'll see, he does a little like this little sit down, or they're around a table, and then he kind of goes around and talks to each of them. I'm going to skip what the European leaders say by and large. And the reason I'm going to do that is because it's immaterial to the situation. I will tell you that they are all using flattery as a weapon. They are all using what I refer to as the Macron handshake. They know full well that this tapioca-brained old fart is pliable as long as you play to his ego. Just like King George, just like fucking Caligula, you know, just like any like inbred, full of shit, aging authoritarian or monarch in, you know, the fucking 1800s to the dawn of time. So they know they can play to him, you know. Wait, I just had a great idea. What was my idea? Like that. Like, so let's take a look at that, shall we? And then we'll break down some of these pieces. Don't forget to like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show, etc., etc., etc. Now I've got to skip through this thing because everything's late. So here we go. Is he probably going to say, like, we should have this in the ballroom?
Isn't it just, it's such an incredible place.
Yes, it is. It deserves better than you, dipshit. Also, you know what's incredible? The amount of saliva in that old fart's mouth, because he is on so many stimulants. This is what gacked up on Adderall does for you, folks. And at this point, it's barely revving the engine. But that's that's why he's got this lateral lisp, but he starts sounding like Carol Channing.
Well, we're building a big a ballroom. Beautiful.
A ballroom.
Right here.
The ironically big ballroom, considering the fucking shrimp nuts over here.
If you go, it would be right through that, right through here.
Yeah, right. Where am I? Yeah, it's over here. We're calling it the Epstein Ballroom.
It's going to be. I'll tell you, but it's going to be fantastic, actually.
Yes, it's going to be a rather large room that you can use for a multitude of things. I'm going to go with rectangular and generally in keeping with the aesthetic of the White House architecture, but with gold slather on everything. So Putin can feel comfortable when he comes over to get his nuts rubbed.
You can let them come in. I think we're going to have a...
What the fuck is the sneeze guard over here? Who the fuck is sitting over in this business? Who got... is there a European Union kids table? And the ladder's a nice touch. Classy to the last.
Successful.
It's probably loud cameras. You know, that kind of stuff for anybody who's still using film. Who is it, Finland? It's probably Finland, isn't it?
Talk to them. Yeah. Please, come on in. You guys
I feel sorry for the woman sitting to his left because of the smell.
want to take some questions or anything? Feel ready? Huh? Sid. Hi, Mark.
My God, he's doing scenes out of the room. Hi, Mark.
Yeah. Good.
It looks so dignified from that angle, with the exception of the lone purse on the floor.
Well, thank you very much. It's a great honor to have you here. Special place. White House is special no matter where you're from.
See, it's a special, I guess, very broad word.
Represents so much, and it really is beautiful. And thank you for...
You know what it represents to me is overmodulated microphones. Thank you. I would like to thank Donald Trump for making me feel better about my technological issues earlier, because this is the White House, and he sounds like he's broadcasting on radio in the 1930s.
all of the wonderful things that took place today. We've had a very
All of the wonderful things he does.
successful day thus far. And important discussions as we work to end the killing and stop the war in Ukraine. We're all working for the same goal. Very simple goal. We want to stop the killing.
Yeah, no, it's not just that you want to stop the killing. You know what I mean? Like, you know how you could stop the killing? One of the ways, I'll give you an example of where it's not just about stopping the killing. You could stop the killing by finishing killing everyone. You could, do you see what I mean? Like, you could, okay, I'm going to try and turn the audio up a little.
Settled.
Okay.
I've just had the honor of being with President Zelensky and
They slept together? What the hell? Hold on. I'm going to bring this up.
all of the discussions that we've had. We covered a lot of territory. And I spoke indirectly with President Putin today. We're going to call
I spoke indirectly.
President Putin right after this meeting.
Yeah, no doubt. For, like, to get what? Your clearance to live another day?
I'm sure we're going to have a solid meeting, good meeting, maybe a great meeting, and we're going to try and work out.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It'll be a solid meeting. Everybody's here. We're sitting at a table. Mission accomplished.
A trilat after that and see if we can get it finished.
I also like saying trilat because it makes me sound like I know what the fuck is going on.
Put this to sleep because
Maybe I'm a little loopy from this morning. Put it to bed, fuckhead. Put it to bed. You want to put it to bed. You don't want to put it to sleep. It's not a dog with leukemia. It's put it to bed. Stupid. We want to put it to sleep. Like old Yeller.
this is not since the Second World War has there been anything like this. So I'm honored to welcome NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, who's a great gentleman, great political leader in Europe generally, but
Generally?
now he's the NATO Secretary General, and you're doing a fantastic job. Thank you very much, Mark. Prime Minister Starmer of the United Kingdom, our friend and my friend, and
the guy who speaks fairly clear English compared to everybody else, and I don't have to worry. The accent's a bit strong, but I can understand it compared to everyone else at this table.
doing really well.
At what? Pickleball?
And people like him a lot. We all like him. Everyone knows President Macron of France, who's been
Everyone knows who? The President Macron of France?
a lot. We all like him. Everyone knows President Macron of France.
Present. He is a gift, really. Macron really is a gift, I think, to all of us, you know. Macron, present. He thinks he's taking roll.
Who's been with me from the beginning, one of the first people I met as a foreign dignitary, and I liked him from day one.
Yeah, he's kept his office this entire time. That's weird.
And I like him
Present.
even more now. That's pretty good. That's unusual. That's
Don't like me too much. I'm worried you'll grab me by the, how do you say, abuse? Oui? Ah, yes.
a pretty unusual thing. Prime Minister Meloni of Italy, who's a
Prime Minister Meloni of Italy.
really a great leader and an inspiration over there. She's served now, even though she's a very
God damn, the sibilance from the saliva is going to drive me ape shit. Just forewarned.
young person. She's served there for a long period of time relative to others. They don't last very long. You've lasted a long time. You're going to be there a long time. Chancellor Merz of Germany, who is a very strong person and a very strong.
I've seen him lift. He helped us move the table in here, actually. We couldn't have gotten the middle section in place, and it's a big piece of oak.
Leader and very highly respected in Germany. And
Well, one would hope.
he's my friend, and it's an honor to have him as my friend. Thank you very much. Very good. You look great with your tan. Where did you get that tan? I want to get a tan like that.
Yeah, you can. It doesn't come out of a bottle, dumb fuck.
President Stubb of Finland, and he's
I'm not sure why he's here, except he has the biggest border with Russia of all these countries.
He's
Of all the countries, I think it's bigger than even the Ukraine border, right?
somebody that, where are we here? Huh? Where?
What? Hell? Where did he put him? Hey, asshole, he's got to be to your right because you were just looking to your left.
Oh,
I'm right here, directly across the table from you, right next to Zelensky, the guy from Ukraine, whose country is right next to mine. Oh,
he's somebody that, where are we
he's at somebody.
here? Huh? Where?
He looks right at him. He looks right at him.
Finland, and he's somebody that, where are we here? Huh? Where? Oh, you look better than I've ever seen you look.
I didn't recognize you almost as actually at all. You look better. I was looking around for a sick person. All you guys have got tans now. I assumed all the Europeans were paler than this.
But you've done.
This is fucking hilarious. How did they not? Seriously, all these leaders, like, where's the guy from Finland? It's going to be a gag. They're going to be caught laughing about this on camera someplace in the near future. Well, huh? Where's the guy where's my camera? Does anybody know where I've apparently got a camera I stream to. Okay. You look different. You don't look like a camera. You look like a teleprompter thing with a camera in it. Holy shit.
A great job, and we wanted to have you here because you're somebody that we all respect.
Yes, we all respect you. We can't see you. You might be invisible. We don't respect you enough to be able to spot you on a side of the table that only has 3 people on it. One of them's a woman. The other one is Zelensky.
And you've had a lot to do with the success, I think, and the potential success. And thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it.
Wherever you are.
And the president of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, who is
Von der Leyen.
somebody that we just made a big deal with all of those countries. I don't know. I think you might be more powerful than all these guys at this table. I don't know. But you...
There's another woman at the table, just so you know. But maybe he's talking about like from a leg wrestling standpoint.
Had a great negotiation, and you're respected all over the world. So I want to thank you very much for being here. It's a great...
By the way, Zelensky is... Listen to me, Zelensky. Zelensky is trying not to laugh. Look at him. You know this, right? You know he's like, fuck this dude. Like everybody there is doing one of these. Like... It's like the guards in Life of Brian. He has a wife, you know. Her name is Incontinentia. Incontinentia buttocks. Right.
Honor to have you. The Alaska Summit reinforced my belief that while difficult, peace is within reach, and I believe that in a very significant step, President Putin agreed that Russia would accept security guarantees for Ukraine, and this is one of the key points that we need to consider, and we're going to be considering that at the table also, like who will do what, essentially.
Essentially. No, actually. Not essentially. Actually. Not basically. Not possibly. Not probably. Definitely, you dumb motherfucker.
Optimistic that collectively we can reach an agreement that would deter...
Put American boots on the ground. Wait till Marjorie Taylor Greene hears this.
...the future aggression against Ukraine, and I actually think there won't be. I think that's even overrated, largely overrated, but we're going to find out. And I think...
Sorry, what?
...deter any future aggression against Ukraine, and I actually think there won't be. I think that's even overrated, largely overrated, but we're going to find out. And I...
Largely overrated?
I think that the European nations are going to take a lot of the burden. We're going to help them, and we're going to make it very secure. We also need to discuss the possible exchanges of territory, taking into consideration the current line of contact. That means the war zone, the war lines that are.
Is that what it means? Thanks. We haven't all been eating and breathing like war zones since you fucking showed up.
Pretty obvious, very sad, actually, to look at them.
Why? That they exist at all? Hey, here's a good idea. When you talk to Putin later, tell him to fuck off. Tell him to get out. Wouldn't that solve everything overnight?
And negotiating positions.
Again, what? Yeah, again, largely overrated. What the shit does that mean?
President Putin. Also, you have President of Ukraine, who is you just met a little while ago, and we're going to try and get a.
Sorry, you who? Who the? He's talking to the European leaders.
Also, you have President of Ukraine, who is
right there. He's right there. He's right next to the other guy you couldn't spot. And all the European leaders have met with him before. They talked to him before. They've known him for a long time through this whole thing. They talk all the fucking time. And apparently today is the first day they're meeting him.
Just met a little while ago. And
No, they didn't just meet a little while ago, dummy. Did he say President Ukraine? I think he said President of Ukraine.
And negotiating positions. President Putin. Also, you have President of Ukraine, who is you just met a little while ago, and we're going to try and get a three-party meeting, maybe as soon as we can. And
maybe as soon as we can. Technically, as soon as you can is always as soon as you can. There's no maybes. Maybe you're going to have a meeting, and then if you can have a meeting, you'll do it sooner rather than later.
I have a feeling you and President Putin are going to work something out.
Yeah, I don't care what your fucking feelings are, dummy. You're a lunatic if you think they're going to work something out. They've got 70,000 of their fucking kids.
Ultimately, this is a decision that can only be made by President Zelensky and by the people of Ukraine working also together in agreement with President Putin. And I just think that's very good things are going to come of it. So I hope we have a good meeting. And if we can have a good meeting, I'll set up a meeting with President Putin. And if you'd like, I'll go to that meeting. And not that I want to do that, but I will do.
No. Hey, motherfucker, you have to go. This is a trilateral meeting. You have to be sitting there, whole world watching, while this stuff eats shit. No, you have to go. You said you could solve it in one fucking phone call. You don't get to dodge the one and only bilateral. And secondly, you can't call it a trilateral meeting if there's only two parties there, motherfucker.
That because we want to save a lot of people from dying. A lot of people are dying, and we got to save them. Got to save it. 5,000.
Yeah. You know what would save them? If Russia went back to the 91 borders. Problem fucking solved. For everybody. Ukraine wasn't killing people in the Donbass, even people that were, like, pledging loyalty to Mother Russia or anything like that. Not a one.
6,000, 7,000 people sometimes a week. All of us would obviously.
The entire time.
Prefer an immediate ceasefire while we work on a lasting peace, and maybe something like that could happen. As of this moment, it's not happening, but.
Yeah. We know. We know that as of this moment, there isn't a ceasefire. We're all clear on that? We got that? Motherfucker.
President Zelensky and President Putin can talk a little bit more about that. In the 6 or so wars that we stopped.
He hasn't stopped any wars.
A chat with you and somehow death loses its sting.
We haven't had a ceasefire. And so.
Yeah. Well, that's not true. Because there are a bunch of places where you apparently stopped wars where there wasn't any actual fighting going on. You do realize that Rwanda wasn't at war. There were militia groups on the border region.
I don't know that it's necessary. You can do it through the war, but it would be, I like the ceasefire from another standpoint. You immediately stop the killing. But
Yeah, it worked great with Gaza, don't you think? Remember that the Witkoff ceasefire lasted like half a Scaramucci?
I believe a peace agreement at the end of all of this is something that's very attainable, and it can be done in the near future.
Define near. I mean, before the end of this millennium?
With all of the wars that I got involved in,
All the wars that I got involved in. You mean the ones that were either working themselves out or there wasn't any shots fired between the countries in a long time?
we only have this one left.
Hey, hey everybody, congratulations! It's a day for celebration. Apparently, the Israeli-Hamas war is over. Hey, that's good news, right? That's not going. It is. It's still happening. Still awful. Still not working. Oh, okay, cool. And what do you think the chances are that India and Pakistan have a dust up again sometime in the future?
Of course, as I walk out the door, there'll probably be a new one starting, and I'll get that stopped too. But I thought this was going to be
Well, don't worry. Your staff will make one up if there isn't one.
one of the easier ones. It's actually one of the most difficult.
Hold on. This is one of the most hold on. What?
I have this one left. Of course, as I walk out the door, there'll probably be a new one starting, and I'll get that stopped too. But I thought this was going to be one of the easier ones. It's actually one of the most difficult.
No shit. By the way, we all accept your apology, fuckhead. I'm kidding. No, we don't.
They're very complex.
Really? From what I heard, it was something you could solve in a fucking phone call. Am I right? I mean, come on. I mean, golly.
Next step would be for a trilateral meeting, and that will be worked out. And I just look forward to working and having a great result. We're going to spend a lot of time today talking about, and we're really honored you guys came over. I mean, these are the heads of major countries, and respected all over Europe.
Yeah, it's so exciting that they showed up because, I mean, it's not like they actually have, I don't know, an actual concern for the outcome, but it's really nice of them to drop by.
And they speak for, largely, I think I should say, but pretty much for the other countries.
They speak for the other motherfucker. They speak for the other countries. You mean theirs / the Europeans as the European Commission? Because I think that's what he means. Oh, man.
Europe. And we will come to a resolution today, I think, on almost everything, including.
What do you think they'll come to resolution on? The war should end?
Probably the security. And that's.
Probably the security, which means, like, who's going to actually put troops in, and they're going to be all NATO countries.
Pretty much the story. I'd like to say, Mr. President, would you like to say something?
Yes, they're respected all over Europe.
You have the media. If you want, you could come over and you could stand, you could use mine, or you could just turn around, whichever you feel comfortable with.
Thank you so much. I can speak without microphone. Thank you so much. I think that we had very good conversation with President Trump.
Very good.
And
very good. Very good. You know why? Because J.D. Vance wasn't involved being his lap bitch.
It really was the best one. Maybe the best one will be in the future. But it was really good. And we spoke about very sensitive points. The first one is security guarantees, and we are very happy.
Oh, may I add, this morning I brought up something with our dear friend Philip Ittner, and I believe this part of it made the air. At this point, I have lost track on what points I made that actually made the stream and ones that didn't. But I brought up the fact that everybody who's in front of a hot mic should bring up the children. That repeatedly, if you want to, even like, if you want to get through to Trump, whatever humanity is left in his fucking, like, rotting tapioca brain and his failing carcass, if you want to get through to him, or at least through to his followers, to a point where they can't, bring up a point they can't ignore, you got to remind people that Russia has taken over 70,000 Ukrainian children hostage. Now, they don't use the word hostage. They just say they were taken. Abducted would be a word, but I think they're trying to be political about it. But the kids, and again, hostages are meant to be like returned in exchange for something, and if ultimately they are, that's what they've been the whole time. So if they do reach some sort of deal where the land is swapped and and the kids come back, and they get the kids, that means, for the record, you heard it here first, folks, that those children were held hostage. I don't care what the fuck they were called during this process. If they were returned in exchange for land or concessions, they were hostages. That's the word for what they are. And that's what they are right now.
President, that all the leaders are here, and the security in Ukraine depends on the United States and on you and on those leaders who are with us in our hearts. They have been online before yesterday, and etc. So a lot of countries on the side of Ukraine, our people, and all of us want to finish this war, stop Russia and stop this war. We spoke about it, and we will speak more about security guarantees. This is very important that the United States gives such strong signal and is ready for security guarantees. The second point, or maybe the first, humanitarian direction, very important to exchange all the prisoners, and I think that President will help, and I was very thankful to your wife again, Mr. President, for the letter about our abducted children, and I hope that
our abducted children, very clear.
Really, it can be a historic role for the people to bring kids back to the families and be happy and
Get the people back, yeah.
Yes, this is.
Notice Trump says people. He doesn't say kids. He tries to downplay it. Bring people back. They're not fucking people, asshole. They're children. Say fucking children, you asshole. And by the way, maggots, I hope we have some in the chat room. Hi, maggots. Thanks for helping us through the whole, algorithm thing. Your bullshit Epstein's wingman leader, who was supposedly put in place by God and Jesus in the end times to get rid of the cabal of human traffickers and baby-eating Democrats or whatever, can't even say abducted children. Bring the kids back. Bring the people back. There's a reason why he says it that way.
To the families and be happy. And
Get the people back, yeah.
Yes.
Get the people back. They're not talking about people. They're not talking about soldiers. They're not talking about, I don't even know of any kind of adults that have been taken in this, unless he is brain farting about Gaza. He just can't bring himself to say children because he knows what a flashpoint that would actually be. If he acknowledged, if Trump, somebody in the press needs to get Trump to acknowledge the children. Not people, not adults, not soldiers, not prisoner exchange, nothing. Children. What about the 60,000, 70,000 children that have been taken by Russia that are Ukrainian children? Children. Fucking make him say it. People in the press, you got one job right now before you move back to reminding the entire world that this is a distraction about Epstein. You've got to get him to actually say the words. They've got to return the children.
This is so important, and I'm happy that we discussed it.
I'm fairly certain like van der Leyen and a couple of the others, maybe even Macron, mention the children that are taken.
With the President Trump, and I hope that we will find decisions. And then what is very important, that all the sensitive things, territorial, etc., we will discuss on the level of leaders during trilateral meeting, and President Trump will try to organize such meeting, and he said that he will come or not come. Ukraine will be happy if you
If you
will
both want me
participate.
there, I will be.
If you both want me there, I will be there. Putin's going to give him an out. People go, no, you don't have to be there. That's what he's asking for with that sentence. Dear Vladimir Putin, say you don't want me there, you want it to be a bilateral meeting and you want to get straight to it. But the issue is they're not going to have the fucking meeting at all. It's not going to happen.
There,
Yeah, thank you. And I think
It certainly won't happen unless it's the United States and these two. That's the only way it will happen. If Trump isn't there, Putin won't show up. There's a chance that he won't even go or agree to it. I don't know where the fuck they would go. I mean, like, if you're Zelensky or even the United States, you're going to suggest places where he could get fucking arrested.
it's very important. Yes, so security guarantees, bringing kids back and all our people, not only warriors, first of all warriors, and all the civilians, journalists, a lot of people in prison. So we need them back. And guarantees which will work for the years. We spoke about it, and I showed the president a lot of details on the battlefield, on the map. Thank you so much. Thank you for the map, by the way.
Good map.
It was great. Yeah. I'm thinking how to take it back.
We'll get you.
No. I think that we had constructive, specific meeting, and
The Hague would be a great place. I agree. Thanks, Karen. Yeah, they should meet right at The Hague. Just get it over with.
I'm very thankful to all the leaders who are here, and you help a lot, and so we are happy that we have such big unity today. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much,
for hosting us.
Mr.
Thank
President. And I think you'll see that President Putin really would like to do something else. I think when we set that up, when we do, I think it's going to be when, not if. I think you're going to see some really positive moves. I know there's over 1,000 prisoners, and I know they're going to release them. Maybe they're going to release them very soon, like immediately.
No, immediately would be during the meeting. Like now. That's what immediately means, asshole.
Which I think is great. But we're going to set that up today after this meeting. So very good and great remarks. I appreciate it. Mark, as head of NATO, maybe you could say a few words, please.
Yes, I will be very brief. I really want to thank you, President of the United States, dear Donald, for the fact that you, as I said before, broke the deadlock, with President Putin by starting that dialogue. And I think it was in February that you had the first phone call. And from
By the way, the most recent story I can find on actual prisoner exchanges was 4 days ago, and it was a retrospective look at the multiple prisoner exchanges that they've had, the channel by which they communicate to do those exchanges. Let's see, the big one was a year ago. There was another one maybe 2 months ago. Yeah. First, May 23. Yeah, May was the last one where there were a bunch.
there we are now where we are today. And that is, I think if we play this well, we could end this. And we have to end this. We have to stop the killing. We have to stop the destruction of Ukraine's infrastructure. It is a terrible war. So I'm
Yes, I would say that we don't have to actually give fuck one about Russia's infrastructure because fuck Russia. But yes, is this type of things and things that
really excited. And let's make the best out of today and make sure that from today onwards we get this thing to an end as soon as possible. I really want to thank you for your leadership, what you are doing for Volodymyr, but of course also all the European colleagues. It is really crucial. And the fact that you have said I'm willing to participate in the security guarantees is a big step.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Macron handshake. We've got our first official sighting of an official use of the Macron handshake, which is in front of God and the world and the press, which matters more to Trump than God. He says, you've agreed to help us with security guarantees, which means U.S. tech and intel or soldiers or something, but in for a penny, in for a pound. That's him being called out. Listen to how he phrases it. Hold on. Let me start this back a second ago.
Have said I'm willing to participate in the security guarantees
I'm willing to participate in security guarantees. Now, Trump has no idea what fucking security guarantees mean. He has no idea. He just, in his mind, we'll help you bomb shit like we did Israel and Iran. That's what he thinks. But that's not what it means in a, where you're basically guarding a line so that Russia can't continue its attacks.
Is a big step. It's really a breakthrough, and it makes all the difference.
I did what?
So also thank you for that.
Well, NATO also has agreed from 2% to 5%, which is something that is a massive amount of money. And it's 2% that wasn't always paid to 5% that is paid. That's a big difference. And
yeah, it's called wartime, asshole.
So we appreciate that. That was a great move. Thank you very much. Ursula, maybe on behalf of the Commission, you could say a couple of words.
Yes. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's a very important moment. Indeed, we are here, Europeans, as friends and allies. We had a fantastic NATO summit together.
Especially after you left.
That's the two largest and biggest economies in the world. We had the largest trade deal ever.
That's right.
Agreed. And now we are here.
Because you have the two largest economies, every European trade deal with the United States is the largest trade deal ever. Because the economies continue to expand because of the volume of people and because of technology and all that kind of stuff. They will always kind of get bigger, unless I guess in the middle of the 2008 crash, if you'd have done one, it would be lower than the other one. But it's always going to deal with more shit being sold back and forth, period.
To work together with you on a just and lasting peace for Ukraine. Stop the killing. This is really our common interest. Stop the killing. And indeed, it's very...
By the way, the reason they are hitting that is because Putin is continuing to attack even during the negotiations and killing civilians. And so the stop the killing part, nobody really holds this over Ukraine. Ukraine is just hitting military sites inside of Russia, for example. But they are not bombing, cities, neighborhoods, towns, any of that kind of stuff. And Russia is. So the weight of this phrase is to the benefit of Ukraine in this negotiation, and in the narrative around the war itself. It's clarifying who's killing people. It's not soldiers fighting each other and soldiers dying in the process of being at war. Who's killing people? Russia is.
Good to hear that we're working on the security guarantees, Article 5 like security guarantees.
Article 5 like security guarantees.
So important, but I want to thank you also that you mentioned the thousands of Ukrainian children.
There we go. Keep hammering this. Everybody has to keep hammering this. To the point where Trump, because he blathers, how he says whatever the last thing that was spoken into his ear when he goes on stage a lot of times. You need to fill his head with this so that when he speaks to Putin, he can't help but bring it up.
That have been abducted. And as a mother and grandmother, every single child has to go back to its family. This should be one of our main priorities.
Right, and the press needs to hammer this story non-stop. Tens of thousands of kids taken and effectively sold in Russia. You want to talk about human trafficking? I don't want to hear shit about, from maggots about human trafficking and adrenochrome and all that kind of shit when they couldn't even muster up the energy to give a goddamn about an actual case of children being abducted from one country by another country and sold on a fucking eBay site.
In these negotiations to make sure that the children come back to Ukraine to their families.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And we did. I was just thinking we're here for a different reason, but we just a couple of weeks ago made the largest trade deal in history. So that's...
God damn. Think about that for a second. Think about what she just said about children. As a mother and a grandmother, the children need to go back to their families, right? And we're basically we were just talking recently about something else, about money, 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 money. There's your Christian for you, folks, maggots. That's your man picked by God. There he is. What more could you ask for in a faux Christian? Yeah, I mean, served up right in front of you. Congratulations. The antithesis of everything Christ said. Mission accomplished, assholes.
Big That's a big thing, and congratulations.
It is a big thing. Not as big as getting children that have been abducted out of a fucking war zone back to their families. Honestly, on a moral and human level.
That's great. Thank you very much, Ursula. Mr.
Ursula.
Chancellor from Germany, a very, very great leader.
Mr. President,
Please.
dear Donald, many thanks for having us today. I think this is extremely helpful that we are meeting and hearing that the two of you are having such a good meeting today here in Washington. The next steps ahead are the more complicated ones now. The path is open. You opened it last Friday. But now the way is open for complicated negotiations. And to be honest, we all would like to see a ceasefire, the latest from the next meeting on. I can't imagine that the next meeting would take place without a ceasefire. So let's work on that, and let's try to put pressure on Russia.
Okay, that's a non-starter. Russia's not going to go for a ceasefire. This is what van der Leyen was talking about before Trump went, we did such a great trade deal. You want to talk about a fucking trade deal? Russia has created a catalog of Ukrainian kids, and you can adopt these fucking children that were taken, their families are alive, that were taken from Ukraine. And not just areas in the Donbass where they scooped up people that were technically Ukrainian, but now they're Russian, and they put them up for adoption because they sent their dad off to war, shit like that. This is in all the invaded territories. They took them back when they retreated back to the current line. They stole a bunch of fucking kids. And now you can order one on the fucking internet. And not on the dark web. It's not like they found this fucking thing on, and you have to use a Tor browser or an Onion browser to do this. Russia installed occupation authorities in Ukraine's Luhansk region created an online catalog of Ukrainian children, offering them for coerced adoption through the education department. The database includes 294 Ukrainian children who are sorted and categorized so the users can filter them by age, gender, and physical traits like eyes and hair color. The children are advertised for their character traits, with some described as obedient or calm. Here's my question. Do you think they have a fucking choice? You think they got a choice about being obedient and calm? Or do you think there were more kids than the 294 that are on this particular website in the Luhansk region? You think there were maybe 500 of them, and a couple hundred of them weren't calm and obedient, and they're gone. That's what she's talking about. She's talking about this. She's talking about these kids taken from Ukraine, from their families, and held in Russia, and now basically being auctioned off. And you can pick them by eye color and hair color. Think of all the serial murders and rapists that Vladimir Putin let out of prison so they could go fight for Russia on the front line, and then they could absolve themselves of their sentence, who go back home and then they can just order a kid off a fucking catalog. Jesus. And then Trump's like, we made a good trade deal, didn't we?
Because the credibility of these efforts we are undertaking today are depending on at least a ceasefire from the beginning of the serious negotiations from next step on. So I would like to emphasize this aspect and would like to...
Part of the reason he's bringing that up is A, because it's perfectly reasonable to bring up, but also because they know full well that Russia is not going to agree to one.
See a ceasefire from the next meeting, which should be a trilateral meeting wherever it takes place.
Well, we're going to let the president go over and talk to the president, and we'll see how that...
The president talked to the president. Tapioca.
works out, and if we can do that, I will say, and again I say it, in the 6 wars that I've settled,
0.
I haven't had a ceasefire. We just got into negotiations, and one of the wars was, as you know, in the Congo was 31 years long. Another one that we settled last week with 2 great countries was 35 years going on, and we had no ceasefire. So if we can do the ceasefire, great. And if we don't do a ceasefire, because many other points were given to us, many points were given to us, great points. Please, Georgia, go ahead.
Well, thank you very much, Donald, Mr. President, for hosting us today in this important meeting. And I think it is an important day, a new phase, after 3 years and a half that we didn't see any kind of sign from the Russian side that there was a willing for dialogue. So something is changing, something has changed, thanks to you. Thanks also to the stalling in the battlefield, which was achieved with the bravery of Ukrainians and with the unity that we all provided to Ukraine. And the reason why I mention it is that we also have
Notice how he stopped nodding when she said unity?
to remind
Unity!
that if we want to reach peace,
Macron is either whispering to the person to his right or is leaning away because Trump farted. He's French, so it must have been a bad one.
and if we want to guarantee justice, we have to do it united. So that's why it's a very good day, the one we are in. You can obviously count on Italy as it was from the beginning. We are on the side of Ukraine, and we
have an economy that is now bigger than Russia's. So what the fuck are we even talking about?
to absolutely support your efforts towards peace. We will talk about many important topics. The first one is security guarantees, how to be sure that it won't happen again, which is the precondition of every kind of peace. I'm happy that we will discuss about that. I'm happy that we will begin from a proposal, which is the, let's say, Article 5 model, which was Italian at the beginning. So we are always ready to bring our proposals for peace, for dialogue. It's something we have to build together to guarantee peace and to defend the security of our nation. So thank you, Mr. President, for hosting us.
Thank you very much. Emmanuel?
Thank you, Mr. President, for organizing.
You're not just going to call him president?
This meeting and for your commitment. And
to letting me spend at least a little time alone with Melania.
Everything was said, but I have to...
She insisted, you know. She asked me to grow a mustache for this particular trip, and I did not have the time. I feel bad. But next time, perhaps, a curly Q when she wants to tug on it, I hear.
I just have to say here, everybody around this table is in favor of peace. And we work very hard, and we've worked very hard during the past few years to have a peace which is a robust and long-standing peace. This is why the idea of a trilateral meeting is very important, because this is the only way to fix it. And by the way, I think as a follow-up, we would need probably a quadrilateral meeting, because when we speak about security guarantees, we speak about the whole security of the European continent. And this is why we are all united here with Ukraine on this matter.
United with Ukraine. Notice, did he stop? I think he stopped nodding again.
All united here with Ukraine.
Huh? We are? Oh.
On this matter. In order to organize such a trilateral meeting, your idea to ask for a truce or ceasefire, at least to stop the killings, as we discussed, is a necessity. And we all support this idea. And in order to have such a long-standing peace for Ukraine and for the whole continent, we do need these security guarantees. And the first one is clearly a credible Ukrainian army for the years and decades to come. And the second one is our own commitment.
Years and decades to come. Yes, we do want to. We do believe in the peace. We've got to take a piss boy. Your Honor, Your Highness, you look like the piss boy. You look like a bag of shit. No, you look exactly like the piss boy.
All of us And we worked very hard during the past few months amongst the coalition of the willings with the support of NATO.
It's good to be the king.
To build the different pillars of security guarantees and our commitments. And you can be sure that Europeans are very lucid about the fact that they have their fair share in these security guarantees for Ukraine, but their own security is clearly at stake in this situation. So you can count on us as we can count on you in order.
See that? You can. Like, he draws him in. They're all doing it.
To deliver this robust peace for both Ukraine and Europe.
A robust peace. Something you have not had in a long time. I understand, get up in the middle of the night and make a small piddle, nothing comes out, and you go back to bed damp and sad.
Thank you very much.
When you try to have a peace.
You, Mr. Prime Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and thank you for hosting us here. Can I start where Emmanuel started, which is we all want peace. War.
Yeah, I think we all do. Yeah, we do.
In Ukraine has had a huge impact, particularly on the Ukrainians who've borne the brunt of it, but it's also had an impact.
Look at his face. He's over it. The old man switch has been flipped. Whatever he took earlier, he knows he can't go to. He's got to take a shit, and he's just going in his diaper right now because he can't leave the table. And he's upset about the fact that he can't go where he wants because this job is also a prison to anybody that doesn't have a command of their own inner psychology.
On Europe and on the United Kingdom, there's not a family or community that hasn't been affected. And when we talk about security, we're talking about the security not just.
Yes, we are, aren't we? And there will be a great confusion as to where things truly are, and the children will not know where lies the things of their father, the sort of had a length of and a rapier work attachment that was only put there the night before around 8 o'clock.
Ukraine, we're talking about the security of Europe and the United Kingdom as well, which is why this is such an important issue. I think this is such an important meeting. As a group, I think we've had a discussion on the phone a number of times, Mr. President, but be able now to be around the table to take it forward. And I really feel that we can, I think, with the right approach this afternoon, make real progress.
No, it's not Mr. Bean. That's from Life of Brian, everybody. The wall of prophets. Michael Palin is a genius and a gift to all humanity, and one of the funniest people that has ever existed in the entire timescape of the universe since before the Big Bang. Something must have caused the bang, so I'm going to go with time in its own way because there had to be a before existed, pre-time in our temporal world or something like it, right? And Michael Palin was even funny then.
Particularly on the security guarantees, and your indication of security guarantees of some sort of Article 5 style guarantees fits with what we've been doing with the Coalition of the Willing, which we started some months ago, bringing countries together and showing that we were prepared to step up to the plate when it came to security, with you coming alongside. It's
like he's translating what all the other people with like foreign accents to Trump said. What? Article what?
The US alongside what we've already developed, I think we could take a really important step forward today. A historic step, actually, could come out of this meeting in terms of security for Ukraine and security in Europe. I also feel that we can make real progress towards a just and lasting outcome. Obviously, that has to involve Ukraine, and a trilateral meeting seems the sensible next step. So thank you for being prepared to take that forward, because I think if we can ensure that...
So they are all, if you'll notice, and I don't know if they're all hitting the children point, but they are all hitting the united part and the Article 5 stuff to set this up ahead of time. So they are establishing the agenda. Trump is not. He is following in this circumstance, just for the record.
Is the progress out of this meeting, both security guarantees and some sort of progress on trilateral meeting of some sort to bring some of the difficult issues to a head, then I think today will be seen as a very important day in recent years.
Denise says this feels like an intervention. Yeah. They're all taking the car keys away from Grandpa.
In relation to a conflict which has gone on for 3 and a bit years, and so far nobody's been able to bring it to this point, so I thank you for that.
The Ukrainians have by kicking Russia's ass. How they had a meeting before the meeting without Trump. No question, CSL. That's exactly, they gamed this out. They have a strategy. He does not.
Well, thank you very much. And, it's very interesting because this is the first for the White House. You can't say that very often. It's seen a lot over the years, since 1800, 1799, to be almost exact.
Somebody told him when the building was built, while they were walking around building putting on the plans for the ballroom. So he's been carrying around that piece of Wikipedia in his head, wanting to say it.
But this is the first where we've had so many prime ministers, presidents, the heads of European nations. And by the way, Alex, I'd like you to say a couple of words too. You're a young, powerful man. Before I finish up, I want you to say a couple of words. Go ahead.
I'll take the notion of youth back to my wife and try to convince her. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
I think that was a Viagra joke. Points Finland.
I think in the past 2 weeks we've probably had more progress in ending this war than we have in the past 3.5.
Yeah, because they've been busy fighting it up till now. I got news for you. Every day that goes forward, you'll have more progress in ending it than you did the day before, because at some point somebody's going to lose. It's going to be Russia.
Yes, and I think the fact that we're around this table today is very much symbolic in the sense that it's Team Europe and Team United States helping Ukraine, and the progress that we're looking out of this
America, fuck yeah,
meeting is about the security guarantees, which are a big part of this, and then of course moving towards a process with a trilateral meeting with you and President Putin and President Zelensky. Some of the international media might wonder, why is the president of Finland here? I think the reason is probably that we might come from a small country, but we have a long border with Russia, over 800 miles. And we, of course, have our own historical experience with Russia from...
Don't hide from it. Finland, you're not a small country. You got a big footprint, son. You're basically California.
World War II, the Winter War, and the War of Continuation. And if I look at the silver lining of where we stand right now, we found a solution in 1944, and I'm sure that we'll be able to find a solution in 2025 to end Russia's war of aggression and find and get...
There you go, Russia's war of aggression.
A lasting and just peace. The situation is very difficult, but that's why we're here.
Thank you, Alex, very much. Good job.
Thank you for talking long enough for me to look at my list to get your name again. That's what that was.
So we're going to be meeting for a while, and
that's true no matter how long it lasts, I think.
We're going to discuss some of the issues, and...
You sure?
I don't think there's any issue that's overly complex. It's at a point now.
You're right. You're right. It's real fucking simple. Russia, fuck off. That's how simple it is. Anything short of that gets real goddamn complicated and takes a lot of effort, time, and money, and lives.
Where people want to do things. I really do believe. I've known him for a long time. I've always had a great relationship with him. I think that President Putin wants to find an answer too.
Yes. The answer is he wants all of Ukraine to belong to Russia, the Ukrainian language and culture to be stamped out, and Zelensky to be drawn and quartered. Oh, and they want to keep the kids. So...
And we'll see. And in a certain period of time, not very far from now, a week or 2 weeks, we're going to know whether or not...
2 weeks. Oh, the old 2 weeks has reared its ugly head.
We're going to solve this, or is this horrible fighting going to continue. We'll do the best to get it ended. And I believe you have two willing parties, and usually that's good news, but two willing parties that want to make a deal. And we'll journey to...
Yeah, I guess it's easier to make a deal when both sides want to make a deal. I mean, it must be easier than when one side wants to make a deal and the other doesn't, or both don't, technically speaking. Jesus, this guy should write a book.
Together, and we'll go over and we'll see if it can be done. And it might...
And if it can be done, it'll be great. If it can't be done, then I guess it can't. So...
It's possible it might not be able to be done. On the other hand, it's possible it will. I'm going to say...
It's amazing how he can sum up what I would think the essence of human life, which is potential. The potential for something to happen or not to happen. And indeed, if something doesn't happen, isn't that in its own way something happening? Just the lack of a certain thing happening creates a void for even more potential. It's a miracle, I would say. That dude is a fucking poet.
Thousands and thousands of lives a week. And so it's something we really have to do.
Tens of thousands a month. Hundreds of thousands a year. It's amazing. You can just keep going on like this.
And, or at least we have to give it our best. It's all you can do. You can give it your best. But I think we may have a very good outcome. So
maybe, perhaps your best wasn't good enough.
I want to thank you all, and the media, I want to thank you. We're going to be staying here for a little while. Then we're going to walk over to the Oval Office, and we're going to have another little discussion.
This is fascinating. Is someone writing this down?
About similar matters. And
really? So you're going to talk here for a while about what you're talking about, and then you're going to move to another room and talk about it there? No shit. I always wondered how it worked, and I still haven't found out, and I don't think I'm going to.
And they're going to go home to their great countries and report. And I'm going to remain here and work, and you're going to go and work. We're all going to be working. We may be in a different location, but that's what we know how to do is work. But
yeah, that's work and golf, mostly golf.
I want to thank the media. Has been actually very fair, generally speaking, very fair. I think it's important.
Wait till Congress comes back.
That they're fair, because this is a very important.
By the way, the reason somebody's saying why move from this room to the other, it's so Trump can go use the restroom. And Walt Nauta and Stephen Chung can hose down his diaper and put on a new one.
This is a very important subject. We have to get it ended. And so...
The subject?
That's all we ask for is fairness with the media. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
In all fairness, you're a fucking idiot.
Thank you very much.
There you go, press. Get out. Okay, so we made it through there. I'm very impressed with you guys. Thanks so much. Let's go back to here. Chat room, you're watching House Sparks Mega Worldwide, the greatest live stream in the history of live streams. I wasn't going to go through the whole thing, but it actually worked out. Yeah, they need to play... they can't play YMCA at the end of that. I think they would probably end up just going...
I love that feeling. Zipper hoods have got the goods. Owie, owie, oh. Butts and thongs and vests and thongs. Whoa, I love that feeling. Zipper hoods have got the goods. Owie, owie, oh. Boink, boink, dooby-doo. You know what I wanna do. Yay. Boink, boink, dooby-doo. You know what I wanna do. Buster.
So, I don't want to get everybody's hopes up, though. We can't play YMCA, so that's my placeholder music for YMCA. At the end of all these gatherings, now let's jump over to what was the takeaway from the weekend by Maggot Central. It was just incredible what Trump was able to get out of Vladimir Putin, which was checks notes. Nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing. But according to Peanut Butter Dickhead and that crowd, Vinny's all, like, his neck veins are going, so he's upset that somebody's not giving Trump the credit he deserves or he's mad we're not talking about Epstein. We'll see.
The meeting that took place in Alaska, Trump, Putin come together for the first
right now over me.
They both had to travel. When Putin landed.
That is true. Thanks, man. I wasn't sure if I was first. I thought they both lived in a fucking igloo together.
Trump, the walk up. Rob, if you can do me a favor and pull up the clip of Trump walks out first.
Well, staggers. I'm sure you guys will call it swagger.
Stands waiting for Putin to come.
It's not the first time.
Showing authority. He's up there.
Showing authority. Yeah, nothing says authority like waiting for someone to join you.
And then when Putin walks up, all the body language expert YouTubers lose their mind because this is what you want to see. The first handshake between the two when Putin walks up to shake the president's hand. And as...
Yeah, he does the bitch shake.
He's doing that, and they're walking up. Rob, I don't know if you can find it or not, Rob.
Oh, he can find it.
Just go to X if you're having a hard time finding it still.
Yeah, go to X. It's still up there. Especially show the fucking walk where he barely stays on the goddamn carpet.
Most popular clip out of all of them.
What the most gangster.
Gangster. Trump, Putin, handshake.
They're all like, what a fucking gangster. What a boss. The way he turns his palm up like a bitch.
They walk up, not this one.
With the B-52 bombers.
Yeah, don't show the part where he's walking. They walk up. Putin walks up. Trump waddles, staggers. I don't even know what the fuck you call it. Right. He weaves. Trump does the weave while he's walking up to the thing. One left over. Oh, God.
You're talking about?
You can watch this one here. So he's chilling. He's waiting.
Yeah. He's just like a beast, looking down at the ground, hands hanging slack at his sides, his tiny feet, and look at his hands. This is his head. This is his whole body. Look at these guys. Look at these little blue things. You think he's wearing some sort of like anti-poison like goop all over them so he feels comfortable shaking hands with him? Like, we're going to put this stuff on your hands. It's going to sting and it smells, but if you shake hands with them, most of the poisons that we know they have, and we can't promise everything, but we're pretty sure they can't get through this goop. And then once you get inside, then we'll wash it off.
All right, here we come.
Let's go. Hello?
5, 4, 3,
Clap it up.
2.
Right, again, what the fuck is gangster? Seriously, what does he end up? How in the fuck is this supposed to?
Oh, hello there.
Why is this being an alpha?
One.
Hey.
We are happy.
Oh, hello there.
He's like, hi.
Hello,
How you
little
doing?
Russian
very
friend.
good. Very good trip. We
Okay.
have fun.
And
Very good. Yeah.
we'll
You
go
beat
over
Hillary.
All right.
Remember you beat Hillary? They said Russian collusion. We don't
All
need
right,
it.
let's do it, boys. Wait for this.
So that.
Yeah, boss as fuck, man. He doesn't look like a derpy old fart waiting for somebody to bail him out of a problem.
Oh, hello there.
Good God. Like a gangster.
That now.
Who knows he's gonna be whacked and has just walked onto a tarmac where somebody's put a giant red tarp on the ground. He's not gangster unless you're counting like when fucking, I don't know, like Joe Pesci realizes the car ride out to the cornfield isn't so he'll be a made man.
They're walking. What does Trump decide to do? Talk about timing, by the way. This is not easy to time this.
Oh my God.
Watch what they do. Go ahead, Rob.
3, 2, 1. Cue the bombers.
Oh my. Oh.
Wow.
He clapped.
It's called Pete.
I showed that because you said you wanted to look at the underside of them real close, so your guys should have their cameras out, right? All the spy equipment on your fucking planes and everything that's tracking them as they go by.
Through strength, Vladimir.
But can we acknowledge how gangster,
So gangster.
you're meeting with?
No, it's not fucking gangster, dumbass. That's U.S. taxpayer dollars for like he's giving him an aerial flyover. It's not a threat.
the world's largest nuclear power, and by the way, he claps and then he leans in and goes, "You're good." How gangster is that?
Did you see the voiceovers all weekend? It's like, Vlad, I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, he is.
So why do you think he did that?
And I love that you said the CNN.
Because he's got a tiny little mushroom dick. That's why he did that.
Automatic.
It was Hegseth's idea. It was Hegseth via Marco Rubio via Hegseth.
We had body language experts. I don't care what your profession is with body language. I don't care if you despise Trump. The timing and how gangster is it that you see Putin and the timing of you know what that means? The bomber's like, okay, all right, guys, right now. And the moment that he's about to hit that stage, a B-52 bomber, which can carry nuclear arsenal with 4 fighter jets, Pat, that goes to show him, like, hey, listen, at the end of the day, I'm still the alpha. I'm the boss. Period.
You think that's...
Or... he's giving him basically the equivalent of a 21 gun salute.
The reason why is any other take than what Vinny said. Any different take.
Yes. Trump has a tiny little mushroom dick. They knew that he would stand there clapping like a fucking harbor seal with Putin coming, give him a bitch handshake, and then walk with him like he was getting a performance review from his direct supervisor. So the people around him scheduled a flyover to try and buy off your bullshit alpha male show so that you'd think you'd ignore all the embarrassing parts of it. That's why. That's the take.
No. I don't disagree with it, but Trump understands the moment and he understands trolling, and trolling can be done in so many different ways.
Yeah, and especially when it involves, I guess, tens of thousands of dollars in U.S. taxpayer money and it doesn't really accomplish anything.
Yeah. So so that's that part. Now, as they're going about it, they're having their conversations. You know, everything that's going on. You know, different talks. Rob, do you have any other clips that you want to show with this one here?
Probably. How about? Wait, hold on. Let's see. I don't know if this will be. Is this open? Yeah, how about this one? Yeah. Okay, hold on. This is the. There you go. Yeah, here you go. I think this shows Putin is limping, Trump is staggering. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, maybe not. What the fuck? Okay. So there's Trump, like, really hanging on to that rail. Unsteady Trump. There he is, and staggering down the fucking... Whoa! Boy. Putin's dragging a foot. Although I think he's... I'll ask you how it shocks the world. This is the primary thing is that stagger, that zigzag. I gotta get back on the thing. I think they laid out people were saying they shouldn't have rolled out the red carpet for Putin. I think they laid out the red carpet just so Trump wouldn't wander off the fucking tarmac. And this whole bitch palm up handshake. And then the whole pat you and this and there you go. People are asking if he's drunk. They noticed he was struggling to walk steady. Yeah. He almost misses. Watch his hand right here. He misses it the first time. Did you notice that? Watch his hand. He literally whiffs the railing, and then Putin comes out. He's got his guide or whatever. There you go. Thank you. I think the idea was that Trump will get a 4-second head start so they can arrive at basically the same time, but Putin let him fucking dangle. And I think he was saluting Putin here. If indeed this is Putin, there's been a lot of talk about that this was a double and Trump wouldn't know the fucking difference. Yeah, that's the stagger. There you go. So, yeah, you get the point. So, this whole fucking, like, dude's a fucking gangster nonsense.
There was one. Let me grab it. I believe this is the one that...
Yeah, it isn't the shot of him walking up and staggering all over the fucking red carpet. I don't know why you're not playing that, peanut butter dickhead. Why isn't Vinny and those guys you don't want to see his fucking swagger? His boss fucking alpha swagger? Especially when he's coming down the steps and he's got that death grip on the railing, and then when he gets to the fucking carpet and he S-curves his way, shows the Trump weave.
Is in your notes.
Which one is this one, Rob?
This is the handshake and then a breakdown of the... right here.
Yeah, I like this one. Watch this breakdown of this one TikToker. I like the way he broke it down. Watch this.
These moves by Trump during his meeting with Putin in Alaska were pure negotiating genius. Air Force One lands, Trump steps out, walks straight to his spot. Putin
walks straight to his spot. No, he doesn't. He does not walk straight to his spot. He also doesn't step out and
negotiating.
You notice how they cut around everywhere.
Genius. Air Force One lands, Trump steps out, walks...
They don't show him whiffing the handle.
Straight to his spot.
The banister.
Putin's plane lands after, Trump's already there, standing firm.
His plane didn't... What the fuck kind of like AI bullshit is this? Firm? What the fuck?
Adjusts his jacket, little wave, a clap or two, but he's not moving an inch. He's making...
What? He claps and he staggers back and then staggers forward because he doesn't know where he's supposed to fucking stand. And why is he clapping for another man? Explain this to me, you assholes. What man claps at the arrival of another man when they're supposed to be equals? Oh! Yes! Oh, hello there!
Oh, hello there!
Yeah, alpha as fuck.
Putin come to him. That's not random. That's strategy. That's...
What? What do you think he's gonna do? What? He'd get lost.
You want to talk? You walk to me. Same move he pulled on the Chinese leader before.
What? He walked to... Xi Jinping's the one standing there. What the fuck? Wait. This is their evidence?
Strategy.
Watch this.
That's you want to talk? You walk to me. Same move he pulled on the Chinese leader before.
The video doesn't even show this. Yes, they shook hands. We know. He walks to Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping's the one that's standing there saying, if you want to talk, you walk to me.
It's a silent message. I'm in charge here. And when Putin finally reaches him, Trump goes for the handshake and pulls him in. The handshake mind games are next level. Psychotic in the most calculated way. He exudes power. That's a real president. Then, the ultimate move.
All right, this has to be like an AI voiceover put out by the Chinese government.
2 stealth bombers cutting through the sky.
Sorry, how many?
President. Then the ultimate move. B2 stealth bombers cutting through.
B2 stealth bombers, plural. That would be 1, and the other ones are fighter jets.
The sky. This isn't just a military show, it's a statement. Fly the most advanced bomber in the world over your rival's head during a handshake. Putin even glances up at it. Trump doesn't, because he already knows it's there.
No, Putin looks at it because he hears it. Trump has forgotten about it until it's right overhead.
That's confidence. That's control. That's the art of the deal. Live and unfiltered.
Live and unfiltered? It's AI. This is a Chinese AI video. These guys are fucking masturbating to a Chinese AI pro-Trump video. Live and unfiltered?
Oh my God! That's confidence. That's control. That's the art of the deal. Live and unfiltered.
Live. Oh my God, Vinny! Is that how you pronounce live? You've been doing it wrong this whole time?
Whether you love him or hate him, this was pure showmanship from a master negotiator. And in that moment, everyone watching knew exactly who was in charge.
Yes, Vladimir Putin.
Jake just messaged me too. He leans in and actually says, "That's for you." Like as a gift. That's so funny.
So Tom, what got?
That's so funny. Yeah. Anyways, hey Vinny, what about those Epstein files and the 60 to 70,000 Ukrainian children that have been taken by Russia? You don't. He's a boss. You know what? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have even brought it up.
Accomplished with this meeting.
So what got accomplished?
Fuck all.
At this meeting is the two largest superpowers came together.
No. Russia is not the second largest superpower by any stretch. India has more functional nukes than they do at this point. Has a much bigger population, could have a much bigger impact. Not even mentioning the Chinese military, ass that it is.
On U.S. soil, not at The Hague.
U.S. soil? Sorry, where is that exactly? Is that a city in Alaska?
Two largest superpowers came together on U.S. soil, not
Sorrel.
At The Hague, not overseas.
Well, definitely not. Definitely not at The Hague. Gee, I wonder why wouldn't they pick that as the place to go? Why not The Hague? Why wouldn't Vladimir Putin want to fly to The Hague?
Not in Minsk, where the Germans got...
Minsk. Minks are a lovely little animal. Too lovely for their own good, I think.
Together a couple years ago with him. Not any of that on our soil, says...
Well, not according to Trump.
The Alpha got together with him, and there's a lot of...
Hey, asshole, you do realize that our country is one of the few countries that Putin can go to without being arrested on sight.
Things that Putin wants. This wasn't just about Ukraine. There were some other things that were Witkoff was talking about that were discussed. And I think...
Yeah, like the resolution of the P-tape. He's got a copy that I guess is in 8K.
What got accomplished is that the world knows the path to peace in the Ukraine goes through Donald Trump. And whether it's on his desk with the documents or it's the aid that he's pushing back, that's what got accomplished. Everybody in the world, including other world leaders, knows remember, Europe was trying...
No. Not because of him as a man, but because of the size of the U.S. military and our arsenal, which Trump is just using. It's like the fucking... the story of the mouse in the jungle that thinks that the panther is scared of him because there's a lion right behind him. He's like, I showed you. And then he turns around and realizes.
Remember when they had the Zelensky incident in the Oval Office?
Incident. That's what it was. The Zelensky incident. I love that movie. Who was that? Robert Redford and Lee Van Cleef and Sally Fields in one of her first roles in one of the 70s post Warren Commission, one of the best international thrillers.
Pat, you remember what happened the next week? Zelensky went on tour of Europe and they all hugged him one at a time and offered him aid, but turns out the UK aid turned out to be debt against the Ukrainian citizens. Remember all that?
Yeah.
Well, this is Trump. What it got accomplished is Trump has reset the narrative of negotiations.
Oh, man. Turd polishing, a little bit of turd polishing, just polishing those turds all day long.
The Russia-Ukraine peace treaty, and it needs to be...
Dude, try harder. Holy fuck.
Peace treaty, not a ceasefire.
Rob, can you do me a favor?
Can you explain what the fuck he just said?
The one thing, if I'm Trump, one of the biggest outcomes, I believe for him, top 5,
is to make a boom boom without it stinking up the place.
It could have been top 3 on his list. My opinion is for Putin to say the war would have never happened if Trump was president. You have to know that was on top of Trump's list.
Yeah. He will give up Ukraine just to have Putin say that because he's a fucking weakling. He's a tiny little mushroom-dicked toddler of a human being.
Of a thing that he wanted Putin to say.
Yeah. And Putin thought, if I say this, then he'll just make them give me a bunch of land.
Because it was a statement for Putin to validate what Trump kept saying during the election and the debate.
Yeah, which is exactly what the person who fucked with the election would say. Because if you recognize that in this circumstance, it isn't just about this bloviated idea of Trump's personal vision that he was cheated in an election, but that Putin is directly involved in a crime of fucking with our election. So of course he's going to say they didn't rig the election and that the Democrats are the ones who actually rigged the election to keep Trump out.
If I was the president, the war would...
These motherfuckers are going to lap up everything Ghislaine Maxwell says.
It never happened. Everybody's like, who the hell you think you are and all this other stuff? And guess what the guy who started the war just said? Here's what he had to say. Go ahead, Rob.
I'd like to remind you that in 2022...
Yeah, the guy who started the war and is continuing the war.
During the last contact with the previous administration, I tried to convince my previous American colleague that the situation should not be brought to the point of no return when it would come to hostilities. And I said it quite directly back then that it's a big mistake. Today, when President Trump saying that if he was the president back then, there will be no war. And I'm quite sure.
Yeah, right. There wouldn't have been a war. You'd have just taken the fucking place. It would have been an attack and it would have been over. If Putin had been in charge when this war started, which was the goal in the first place, they would have taken the country. They'd have had Kyiv in a few days. They would have gotten zero pushback from the United States because Trump would have slow-walked fucking everything. And before there was a chance for even the Europeans to react and marshal, NATO's reaction to it, or at least the European continent and the United States together, Trump would have slowed that approach so much that Putin would have taken half, if not more, of the country, including Kyiv. That was the point. It wouldn't have been a war. It would have been an attack. The Ukrainians, you see, to have a war, you have to have two parties fighting. You need to have two armies fighting. If one army never gets a chance to get off the ground and the other one just obliterates it or is allowed to basically take over the entire civilian infrastructure of a country, then that wasn't a war. It was an invasion and they won. If Trump had been in charge, it wouldn't have been a war. It would have been an invasion. And that's it.
It'd be so. I can confirm that. I think that overall, me and President Trump have built a very good business-like and trustworthy contact.
Business-like.
And I have every reason to believe that moving down this path, we can come, and the sooner the better, to the end of the conflict in Ukraine.
Okay, so for Putin to say if Trump was the president, war wouldn't have happened, that's like a slap in the face for the Democratic Party. It's not just...
Yeah, I'm still smarting from it because I always care, first and foremost, what Vladimir fucking Putin says in the protection of Epstein's wingman. What the fuck? Who... Dude, I'll slap you in the face with my dick. There's no, none of us were like, oh dear God. Did anybody pearl clutch? Chat room. Was there any major pearl clutching when Vladimir said, oh, that's a slap in the face of the Democratic Party? Get the fuck out of here. Do these assholes actually, I was about to, yes, they do. I was about to say, do they actually believe this shit? Yeah, they're that dumb. Good God.
Biden is the entire Democratic Party. And so as we're going through this, and Adam...
No. Hey, man, I cannot be insulted by a guy that sends rape squads into a city to clear it. I cannot be insulted by a guy who breaks rapists and serial murderers out of jail and releases them into a neighboring country, you fucking tit. I gotta say, it should be an insult to every guy on this panel with this asshole that they would side with Vladimir Putin in anything that he says, considering the characteristics I just mentioned. You should be fucking ashamed of yourself for taking the side of someone like Vladimir Putin, or saying that any of his suggestions about, the morals or ethics or legality of any action that was taken is an affront to any of your fellow Americans, by the way. No. Fuck off, you child.
To come to you next, when you see something like this happening, okay, Putin says what he says, okay? They meet, Trump...
Yes, Putin says what he says, my eyes roll, then what?
Does the showmanship, conversations are being had. There's a lot of messages that nothing happened, this was a waste of time,
True.
A lot of liberal media are saying all this stuff. There was even a moment when Rubio goes on Kristen Welker. I don't know which one it is. We'll show that here in a minute. But there's a lot of stuff that was says. Where are you at with this? What do you think was accomplished with this meeting?
So, you guys...
Here's real quick. Who gives a shit what you think was accomplished? Right? If it's an accomplishment, you should be able to show it. What's the thing that they agreed to that's concrete in any way, that makes any fucking sense at all, and that somehow alleviates the criminality or the lack of morals or ethics involved in this invasion in the first place, or justifies the invasion? That would, if it's an accomplishment, you shouldn't have to have an opinion about it.
We're talking about you went to see a movie this weekend?
I went to see a movie this weekend.
Okay, gotcha. I never see movies, but this is very reminiscent of a Mafia movie.
Oh my God. Very reminiscent of a Mafia movie. Yes. You know what? You got a point. Both of these motherfuckers are immoral, violent criminals who are the heads of organizations and are having a meeting that will involve the deaths of thousands of innocent people. This might as well be a scene out of fucking Scarface, where, the pre-Kraken South Central era of cocaine that will eventually lead to the deaths of a bunch of people you won't fucking hang around.
And it's almost like The Godfather. You got Don Trumpino out here.
Oh, God. Don Trumpino.
He's the mafia boss of America. You got Putin.
We're not a mafia, you dumb motherfucker.
He's the mafia boss of Russia. And then you have Zelensky.
Russia's actually a mafia.
He's just sort of low-level street boss that's...
He's the president of a sovereign country, asshole. You are sitting in front of a fake bookcase. Look, I know I'm in a fake little spaceship here because I made it, and I put it up because I enjoy it. But I'm not doing it so that people will actually believe I'm on a fucking spaceship. You, on the other hand, are in front of some sort of fake knick-knack shelf in some asshole's rec room that just over time is just getting clutter upon clutter upon clutter of shit that nobody gives a fuck about and makes no sense. And the worst part about it is the shitty merch you're not selling, so you have a bunch of it out there, and the books you are never gonna fucking read, if they're real at all.
Caught up in the middle of this, almost like a pawn, and he's begging for protection. You got the EU and NATO, they're their own.
Sorry, in this Mafia movie, so the low-level boss has 70,000 children that have been abducted from his neighborhood by one of the Mafia bosses, and Don Trumpino is cool with that. And so are you.
Sort of bosses on their end, and they're basically not wanting to send their sons to war, so they're sending money and they're sending military equipment and they're selling weapons.
Okay, this Mafia movie got really odd all of a sudden. You sure it's a Mafia movie and it's not the movie Commando?
And at the end of the day,
you should not drink and bake.
This is a turf war. Trump understands what he's looking for. Trump wants to get a deal done.
Yes, and the deal is over turf. Because it's all our turf. Can you dig it?
why does Trump want to get a deal done? Trump could care less what's going on in Ukraine and Russia. Trump wants to pivot to China. China is the big boss. I know you mentioned.
What? First of all, what the fuck does this have? Why would it stop him? Is it because China's helping Russia in this situation? In which case, that's why it's hard to make a deal, because the American people, by and large, don't want to do business with a country that is helping Russia abduct children and rape and murder people?
The two global super...
Not that you guys give a fuck, peanut butter dickhead and company.
Powers, I assume you meant by nuclear or weaponry superpowers, but
superpowers, sure. Yeah, they're a superpower.
China is where basically U.S. wants to pivot. The sooner that we can get this deal done in Russia, the sooner we can figure this out, the sooner we can pivot to the big issue of our time, which is China. So we'll...
All right, the big issue of our time. Let's okay, what's the issue? Moving manufacturing back to the United States, the Chinese military, Taiwan. What does this asshole think is essential to the China conundrum?
See how long this takes. I said on the last show there's a 99% chance nothing comes from this.
So let me get this right. You are comfortable gargling Putin's balls for a 1% chance that not peace comes from this, that not a resolution, that anything comes from this. 99% chance nothing comes from this. 1% chance they exchange new cell phone numbers and spend, and go on one golf trip together.
I think Zelensky's going to come to the office,
today?
This week in a suit? Is it today?
It's today. They're driving.
So he's bringing his whole crew there, UK, France, Germany. He's even bringing...
the heads of the other 7 families. Stick to your original Mafia storyline, asshole. You wandered down into... I don't even know how the fucking triad worked its way into this Mafia movie.
The one NATO leader who called Trump daddy. So Don Trumpino...
This is fucking embarrassing. Good, keep hammering, dude. It's a great analogy.
The end-all be-all mafia boss is calling...
The end-all be-all. It's the be-all end-all. It's not the end-all be-all. It's the be-all end-all. That's how the phrase goes. It's a colloquialism.
The cards here. I want to see what happens.
I agree with what you say about China, but let me check you a little bit. 99% chance that nothing happens?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. One small edit. 100%.
From that meeting.
Before they ever walked in, it reset the global order of who's the alpha and the
It reset the global order of who's the alpha. Like our world is run by a bunch of fucking silverbacks who throw branches and pound their chest. Are you out of your fucking mind? The alpha? Hey, I got news for you. The head of Chechnya is way more fucking alpha than any of these motherfuckers, and he has 0 goddamn power. There's a bunch of countries with very alpha leaders in Africa, South America, the Middle East, even a couple of Europeans. They're really fucking alpha. It's the thing that keeps their countries from advancing.
The framework, and then the speech at the podium validate.
The speech at the podium, where he sat there like a dickhead, or stood there like a dickhead, while Putin ate all the fucking air out of the room.
It's a fabrication and a false, not a fabrication, but a falsehood that the U.S. mainstream media was repeating almost like a synchronized chorus.
So
before we even get to the negotiating table and before Zelensky ever steps foot into Washington, where you have all the folks of Europe, 99% chance nothing happened of it. I see a lot as already. So
oh my God, nothing has happened. The chance of something happening from this, first of all, it hasn't. Okay. The first meeting didn't accomplish anything. There wasn't a ceasefire. They didn't move the ball down. Like the idea of a trilateral meeting, the idea of a multilateral meeting with Vladimir Putin, it's been bounced around for fucking years. So none of that is new. And the only thing new would be this meeting between Trump and Putin, which led to nothing except for Zelensky's next meeting, the rest of the European leaders going, oh, no. You're not going to fucking box him in with little J.D. Vance over there and treat him like shit. We're going to be standing by his side. You come for him, you come for all of us. You want to talk about an Article 5-like approach. The European leaders are already doing that on a geopolitical level with Zelensky.
What you're talking about is rhetoric and marketing and bravado. Is the war still going on in Ukraine?
At the moment.
Yeah, exactly. So meaning nothing has changed. The whole goal of this meeting is to create a ceasefire.
Wait,
there's been no ceasefire.
Are you saying
what are they going to sign it as you walk off the plane?
No progress has been made.
That's not what I said. I said progress in regards to war. The whole
Oh,
goal.
so progress in regards to okay. So
yes, I agree. What is? Are we going to finally get Trump Tower Moscow out of this shit?
By the way, just this morning, Russia attacked a Ukrainian apartment, if I'm not mistaken, and a few people were killed. Rob, can you look this up to verify that? Because I saw.
Yeah, that's thanks for bringing that up, peanut butter dickhead. You show him that something did happen because of this meeting. Putin doubled down on hitting civilians. He killed more kids. Motherfucker.
That in the news early this morning with this going on.
Hold on. All right. So, like these assholes, they're indicative of the turd polishing that is going on around this. Now, I'm going to do one more thing before I go because I know I'm over time, but I appreciate you guys being patient this morning. I thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate all the support and everybody, the kind words all day, considering the kerfuffle, if I can use that word in pleasant company. Now, speaking, though, you're watching House Sparks Mega Worldwide. Speaking of unpleasant company, apologies ahead of time. Remember these two? Remember alleged child sex trafficker buddy of Joel Greenberg, who used to tour around with QAnon Karen over here? And she didn't seem to have a problem with any of it? Remember that? Remember when they used to hang out and raise money for the Republican Party together? And she didn't have a problem with the fact that this motherfucker was paying underage girls and allegedly transporting them across state lines under the influences of drugs, allegedly, and had to leave fucking Congress lest his ethics report come out? All right. Yeah. Trump had to give him a shot at being the head of the DOJ so that he could have a reason to escape, essentially, to step down before they release the report. And then the idea is like, well, we can't release the report now. He's not a sitting member of Congress. Remember that? Because apparently these assholes don't. Trump peace push, Ukraine corruption, and U.S. sanctions, the Matt Gaetz Show with MTG.
Congresswoman, you've been one of the leading voices against excessive U.S. involvement in this war in Ukraine.
No. Not excessive. Any. She doesn't give a fuck. She wants Russia to win.
What do you think the U.S. interest is in that battle?
I'm not really sure, and I've never understood it. This is a war.
How about this? How about the United States is against countries that take 70,000 children hostage? And we're in this because, how about this? How about we're out as soon as they give all the kids back? That could be your stance. That could be where you pretend to give a shit about this QAnon Karen.
That started really back in 2014 under President Obama and then
No. Started in 91 when they broke up, and then later in that decade when Vladimir Putin took over and scuttled the 1997 NATO founding agreement and decided they were going to rebuild the USSR. And people like you have been carrying water for Vladimir Putin ever since.
President Joe Biden, and you and I watched it.
Sorry, was Biden president in 2014?
That started really back in 2014 under President Obama and then Vice President Joe Biden. And you...
No, technically Biden was his vice president at the same time, concurrently.
I watched it accelerate. We had a front row seat in Congress in 2022. And I was just thinking back fondly of when you were in Congress and we had, very deep discussions when we had our first vote.
Yeah, I can imagine the depth of those discussions.
To fund this war.
Yeah, just a bunch of mentally crayons and hammers melting and smashing into each
other. And I remember one of the things I was telling you is the reason why I'm voting against funding it, or one of the reasons, is because I thought it was going to have such horrific economic impacts all around the world. And we...
Huh? Sorry, defending Ukraine would have horrific economic impacts all around the world.
We saw that happen. We saw...
Oh, by the way, that is a drone hitting, I guess, an apartment building?
Inflation go up because...
Wait, sorry. You think inflation went up because of our support for Ukraine?
Once the sanctions were put in place on Russia, we saw a drastic change in basically world trade and trading power around the world. And
what? A drastic change? You mean the removal of Russian oil? What the fuck other products do you get from Russia besides instructions?
And we saw the BRICS nations become stronger.
No, we did not.
We saw Russia start selling their oil to many other countries and even...
No, many fewer countries. They were selling them to all those countries, and now they are selling them to less of those countries.
And selling their oil and gas still to our allies, but through third parties. We saw China get stronger and...
No, you didn't.
Yeah, we saw the poor get poorer, Matt, and that is what happened.
Sorry. I thought that was a feature, not a bug of the Republican Party.
Has continually happened. I think...
Sorry. And again, what funding should go towards helping the poor of the money that went to Ukraine? From this idiot's point of view. The woman who is against the child tax credit. The woman who is against the Department of Education funding for special education and those kind of things. Like, what? Where are poor people worse off because of spending she didn't get? What did she fight for? Like, well, we can't afford to do that. We've got to send money to Ukraine. And also, you can't say that, well, we're taking on more debt. We're taking on more debt. And we shouldn't be taking on more debt to do this. Well, if we're taking on more debt, then we're not taking money that exists and giving to someone. We're borrowing money to give to them, and we're financing the freedom in the future through this process. And 90% of the money that we gave to Ukraine went right to red states. To buy munitions, to buy rockets, to buy Stingers and Javelins. And this might be shocking to her, but a lot of poor people live in those states and work for ammunition factories and for are in the military even.
There have been extremely corrupt connections in Ukraine, intense money laundering of U.S. tax dollars, and weapons that the U.S. has supplied to Ukraine have been resold to our enemies.
There is a, hold on one second. Let's see, U.S. weapons, Ukraine, end up in the hands of, So in the black market, including the aircraft Stinger missiles, same kind of the U.S. not providing. So this is 2022. What happens to weapons sent to Ukraine? The U.S. doesn't really know. This is in 2022. This is what she's referring to. Okay. The U.S. has a few ways to track substantial supply of anti-tank, anti-aircraft, and other weaponry it's sent across the border into Ukraine. Sources tell CNN a blind spot that's due in large part to the lack of U.S. boots on the ground in the country and the easy portability of many of the smaller systems now pouring across the border. It's a conscious risk the Biden administration is willing to take. In short term, the U.S. sees the transfer of hundreds of millions of dollars worth of equipment to be vital to the Ukrainians' ability to hold off Moscow's invasion. True. Happened, turned out that way. A senior defense official said Tuesday that it is certainly the largest recent supply to a partner country in a conflict, but the risk both current U.S. officials and defense analysts say is that in the long term, some of those weapons may wind up in the hands of other militaries and militias that the U.S. did not intend to arm. We have fidelity for a short time, but when it enters the fog of war, we have almost zero. Said one source briefed on the U.S. intelligence. It drops into a big black hole, and you have almost no sense of it after a short period of time. And making the decision to send billions of dollars, okay, but that's the but part of it. Because the U.S. military is not on the ground, the U.S. and NATO are heavily reliant on information provided by Ukraine's government. Privately, officials recognize that Ukraine has an incentive to give only information that would bolster their case for more aid, more arms, and more diplomatic assistance. It's a war. Everything they do and say publicly is designed to help them win the war. Every public statement is an information operation. Every interview, every Zelensky appearance broadcast is an information operation, said another source familiar with Western intelligence. Okay, who the fuck could that be? It doesn't mean they're wrong in doing it that way. For months, U.S. and Western officials have offered detailed accounts of what the West knows about the status of Russian forces inside Ukraine, how many casualties they've gotten. Okay. But when it comes to Ukrainian forces, officials acknowledge that the West, including the U.S., has some information gaps. Visibility questions. None of this says that they ended up in actual places. It's that they have the potential to because there's a fucking war going on.
You know, and I'll just say that
I would like to also say that this asshole does not give a fuck that fuck missing Stinger missiles. We can track those down later. Where are the children? QAnon Karen, where the fuck are they?
Matt, if you handed me a doll and told me to show you, point to
oh dear God,
a place on this doll where Russia has hurt me, I don't think I could do that because I think...
Right, because the doll doesn't have a heart and neither do you. Sorry, real quick. If a person is sexually assaulted or violently assaulted, can you point on a doll and see where in that assault or that rape or that murder you were harmed? Seriously, for somebody who's talking all the time about this alleged rise in violent crime and oh my God, she's a couple of I guess $22 million richer than she was when she started in fucking Congress. So by this rise in crime across the country, she's been aided by it, if not a participant because she never paid back her PPP loan.
The decisions that have made in Washington have been made in...
Fuck are you smiling about, creep? Hey, how about this? Ask him to show him on the doll where Matt Gaetz dosed you and flew you to Georgia with his buddies to fuck you while you were under the influence of ecstasy and alcohol, allegedly. So this is the Christian standard of Marjorie Taylor Greene. If it doesn't hurt me, it doesn't hurt at all.
Washington, D.C. Well, I can tell you that's hurt America a lot worse. So
we heard about
I really
that
want
hurt.
to see peace.
Yeah, we heard about that hurt. You represent a number of farmers. I represented farmers in North Florida.
And then what?
After that initial round of sanctions, the cost of their fertilizer went up substantially. The cost of planting rose, and these were farms that did not have huge margins to be able to absorb that for a war that they didn't really understand.
Potash. That's what they're talking about because we got it from Russia by and large because there's a lot of it left over around the areas where they drill for oil. Michigan has a made a giant discovery of potash a couple of years ago in the early part of this, because the Biden administration said we're not going to buy potash from Russia, so we got to find it here. And it turns out there's there's tons of it in Michigan that we can sell to our own farmers. The U.S. Department of Energy's Loan Programs Office announced today a conditional commitment for a loan guarantee up to $1.26 billion in principal and $141 million in capitalized interest to Michigan Potash Company LLC, Michigan Potash. The loan guarantee will help finance the construction of a potash solution mine and processing plant in Osceola County, Michigan, to produce approximately 800,000 tons per year of fertilizer-grade muriate of potash and about 1 million tons per year of salt. We've been getting this from Russia. Like, Trump wants to talk about like moving production and factories back here. This is one of the areas where you can kind of do it. Getting our own rare earth minerals, which we're doing at this place that's just outside of Las Vegas that used to be an unused mine. They've discovered that there's a shit ton of rare earth minerals there, and more than we will need. They discovered during the same period a lithium deposit in California that's the biggest on Earth. That we can get all the lithium we need for batteries from there. And by the way, again, the only jobs added in her fucking district during her entire time in office happened because of the Biden energy policy and the sort of elements of the Green New Deal that were in the recovery package and in the infrastructure package act in both cases, that created a battery factory in her district that gave her 3,000 new jobs. High-paying jobs, I might add. Jobs that she can't wait to get rid of.
Stand as being central to any of their interests. So tell us, Congresswoman, how do we get out of this? How do we disentangle the United States from this territorial battle in Europe?
I think it's through economic.
Also, I would like to say for the record, whatever she says, it won't involve getting the children back.
Deals, and I think it's through trade. I think it's through business deals. Look, let me tell you something. I'm a businesswoman, and President
You are now.
Trump is a businessman, and that's why I understand him, and that's a lot of why I support him. It's the art of the deal.
Well, he's certainly not a moral man.
And I am hoping we see that begin today in these historic meetings as Pete.
Hold on. We don't need any more of her. Yes, we do. We gotta have a special. Yeah.
What's Bucky doing? What is he doing? Oh my gosh. What's a buddy to do? It's Bucky. He's coming. Look at this guy. What's happening, Bucky?
Look how big he's getting. I know. It's Bucky, everybody. He looks like he was just napping. He was, yeah. It's the middle of the day. I need to sleep so I can run all over the place in the middle of the night while you're trying to sleep. This is exhausting. Hi, buddy. There you go. Yeah, I know. How about this? How about you turn over like this and go to snuggles? How about that? How about we lay down and snuggles? He likes to sit like this, and he likes to panther on your arm, which is really adorable as well. And then he, of course, hi, chat room. Hold on, I'll bring you in. There he is. Look at this guy with his little toe beans. Yeah, hi, buddy. Yeah, are you okay? You doing all right? And he will just let you carry him around. He likes to be held like this while I'm trying to work, too. So while I was trying to fix some of the problems I had earlier, he was running around my feet, which was super fun and adorable. And then he was also, like, he wanted to be, like, carried and just sit up in my arm like this. And I'm typing and clicking through things with my other arm. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to switch arms and I need to use the mouse. Yeah, what's he doing? What's he doing? He's such a sweetie. Look at this little guy. He's such a handsome man. He is. And he's very sweet. He's starting to purr. He wasn't purring in public before. He was a little ashamed, I think. And now he's getting, like, long enough where he just wants to, like, lay out on you. Look at this. It's so crazy. He just, yeah. Yes, we needed Bucky the palate cleanser. Absolutely. I'll let you guys go, and I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to continue to work on my rig for the for guests and stuff. Obviously, this system works just fine when I'm doing my regular show. It's the how to get guests on problem that I've been struggling with for a very long time. We'll figure out a way around it. Right, buddy? It's a Bucky. There he is. There he goes. Hi. What are you doing? you want to sit like this? Hold on. How about this? You can do it like that. What are you doing? Where are you going? There he is. All right. I will. Here you go, babe. I'll hand it to you. So there you go. So I can close out the. Thanks, Bucky. Yeah, I think we all needed that after Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene on our screens for a minute. Holy smokes. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys for a great show today. Whew, we got through it. Man, Oshevitz. And I'm going to keep working on my stuff, and hopefully I can remedy that other thing. I just need to figure out like the best way to do guests. It's always a thing. It's always the struggle. All right. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else. And I will see you tomorrow. Thank you, Julie.
Oh, hello there! Don't wreck our show, you hoser. Bullshit! Bullshit!
How, in the name of Zeus's butthole, did you get out of your cell?
Hey, careful, man. There's a beverage here, huh? I'm telling you straight. Groovy. It's good to be the king. Hail to the king, baby.
That's what kind of fun it's gonna be.
You are physically repulsive, intellectually retarded, vulgar, insensitive, selfish, stupid. You have no taste, a lousy sense of humor, and peace.
Trees are real nice. If I didn't have puke breath, I'd kiss you.
Wow.
I like wood.
What?
Deeper and longer.
Action replays in magnified fortune. Eureka! Action replays in magnified fortune. Go out.
All I'm offering is the truth.
Ooh, river.
I got news for you, pal. You ain't leading but two things right now. Jack and shit. Jack left town.
All right, you primitive screwhead, listen up. See this? This is my boomstick! Looking around here, I can tell you're a genuinely dirty person.
Portals, motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, way stories, dweebies, dickheads. They all adore him. They think he's a righteous dude.
Shut up and never say anything again as long as you live.
He thinks I made it up.
Throw me a frickin' bone here. I'm the boss. I'm dead sexy.
Call me Snake.
Would you classify that as a I was thinking of the immortal words of Socrates who said,
nice boy. Looks like I picked the wrong week. Quit up.